My dear friend, let me invite you to sit back, relax, and listen closely, because what I am about to share with you could change the way you look at money, debt, and peace of mind in your golden years. Picture this for a moment. You're sitting at your kitchen table. The morning sun peeks through the curtains. But instead of peace, you feel the heavy weight of bills stacked in front of you. The phone rings again and again, with people demanding money you simply don't have. It feels overwhelming, doesn't it? But here's the surprising truth. If you are an older adult, especially living on Social Security or retirement income, there are certain debts that you may never have to pay again. That's right. Debts that look scary on paper may not actually be enforceable. Lawyers know this, but most seniors are never told about these protections. So today we are going to uncover 6 kinds of debts that you, as a senior, may be able to walk away from legally, peacefully, and without guilt. Because sometimes the smartest thing you can do is not to pay. Let's begin with one of the biggest burdens that almost every senior faces at some point: medical debt. Hospital stays, surgeries, prescriptions, and treatments can add up so quickly, and before you know it, you may find yourself staring at bills that look impossible to pay off. But here's what many seniors don't realize. If your only income is Social Security or certain retirement benefits, creditors cannot touch that money. It is legally protected. In fact, in many cases, hospitals have hardship programs or are required to forgive medical debt. If you can show that paying would cause you financial strain, that means while the letters and calls may come, your livelihood, your income for survival remains safe. So if medical debt is weighing heavily on your shoulders, take comfort in knowing that the law often gives you more protection than you realize. Now let's talk about credit card debt, one of the most common forms of debt in America. Credit cards can feel like a lifeline in emergencies, but they also come with high interest rates and relentless collection efforts. Here's the truth. Credit card debt is what's called unsecured debt, meaning it isn't tied to your house or your car. If you have little to no estate or assets, and you pass away, that debt typically dies with you. Your family is not responsible for paying it out of their own pockets. And just like medical debt, Social Security income cannot be seized to pay it. Many lawyers will tell seniors flat out, if your only income is protected, and you have no valuable property, there's often nothing the credit card companies can do to force payment. That doesn't mean you should spend recklessly, but it does mean you don't have to let credit card statements steal your sleep at night. Next on the list are payday loans. These lenders often prey on people in desperate situations, promising quick cash but demanding outrageous interest rates in return. For seniors, payday loan companies can be especially aggressive, using threats and constant phone calls. But here's the empowering fact. If your income comes solely from exempt sources, like Social Security, these companies cannot legally take it from you. They can make noise, but they cannot touch what the law protects. Once you understand this, you realize the power is not in their hands, it is in yours. Let's move to another debt that may surprise you: old utility bills. Over the years, you may have had unpaid balances on electric, water, or gas accounts. When these debts go unpaid long enough, they often get sold to collection agencies. But here's something lawyers know well. After a certain number of years, known as the statute of limitations, those debts become uncollectible. In other words, time itself can erase their power. Collection agencies may still call, hoping you'll pay voluntarily, but legally, they often cannot force you to. So, the next time you think about those old bills from years ago, remember, the law may already have closed the book on them. Now, let's talk about private student loans. This one might surprise you. Many older adults co-signed student loans for children or grandchildren, or in some cases even took out loans for themselves years ago. These debts can feel like a lifelong chain, but if the loans are private, and if you have no estate or assets for the lenders to claim, they often cannot be collected. Federal loans are treated differently and can sometimes affect benefits, but private loans usually lose their power if there's nothing left to pursue. Think of it this way: private lenders cannot take what you don't have, and they cannot touch your protected income. So while the paperwork may look intimidating in many cases, these debts may vanish at the end of life without ever being repaid. The sixth and final type of debt that many seniors can walk away from is personal loans, specifically those that are unsecured, meaning they don't involve collateral like a house or a car. Banks and lenders issue these loans expecting repayment, but if your financial reality changes and your only income is Social Security or other protected benefits, creditors cannot force payment. Unless you own property or valuable assets, these loans too lose their legal bite. They may call, they may send letters, but the law draws a line they cannot cross. So, my dear friend, what does this all mean for you? It means you do not have to live every day under the shadow of debt, collectors and unpaid bills, medical debt, credit cards, payday loans, old utilities, private student loans, and unsecured personal loans. These are the 6 types of debts that may no longer have control over you as a senior. Instead of giving away your peace and your limited resources, you can protect yourself by understanding your rights. Of course, every situation is different, and speaking to a lawyer can give you specific advice for your case. But the general truth remains, you are more protected than you may realize. Now imagine this. Instead of feeling weighed down by bills, you wake up each morning with a lighter heart. The phone rings, but you no longer feel fear. Because you know the truth, most of those voices on the other end have no real power over your life. You sit with your cup of tea, your favorite book, or maybe a grandchild by your side, and you feel something you may not have felt in years. Freedom. Freedom from worry, freedom from guilt, and freedom from the debts that were never truly yours to bear. So, if you take anything from today's message, let it be this: not all debts must be paid, and sometimes the wisest, most legal, and most peaceful choice is to simply let them go. Your golden years should not be weighed down by financial fear. They should be filled with health, peace, and joy. Share this knowledge with a loved one, because it may change their life as well. And remember, your worth is not defined by numbers on a bill. It is defined by the love you give, the wisdom you carry, and the peace you allow yourself to keep.